God visits Abraham and Sarah, promises that in a year's time, Sarah, who is well past childbearing age, will bear a son. Sarah laughs, and that generates the name Isaac, which means laughter. Then the three visitors walk with Abraham, and things get very interesting indeed, because God has a monologue with himself, asking if he would indeed invite Abraham in on his plans to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Did you ever wonder what was going on? Perhaps God was having the dialogue with himself for the sake of Abraham, so that Abraham would know that what God was desiring was a partner, someone who would share in God's agenda. And in fact, that's what happens. Abraham becomes engaged in a conversation, a bargaining session, if you will, with God. If there are 50 righteous in Sodom and Gomorrah, will you still destroy the cities? And finally, all the way down to 10. I like what John Wright in the book Daring to Draw Near does with it. It's not so much haggling with God, that never works. Rather, the bargaining prayer of Abraham is a way for Abraham to get in touch with the justice of God and the mercy of God. And what happens in the process is Abraham himself becomes a partner in justice and mercy. Have you ever bargained with God? I think we all have. In fact, I'm convinced that any woman or man of prayer is eventually going to attempt to bargain with God. I don't think it's wrong. Bargaining with God is really a conversation about changing God's mind. Do you believe God would change God's mind for you? The Bible suggests God will. But God also invites you and me in prayer, like Abraham, to change our orientation, change our minds, and become partners with God. Jesus said it this way, I no longer treat you as servants, you are now my friends, because I have told you all that I will do. Happy reading.